Hey, welcome to Brisbane Small Business. I'm Kevin Cammy. We've got BSB TV. We've got Lindy McRae, who comes with us from a host of different things into web marketing. Our key representative. Keep actually do give Brisbane Small Business owners a special offer each month. It seems to change, but that's okay. How are you doing today, Lindy?
I'm doing fantastic on this beautiful wet day.
I've got to say, it's been exciting. Our weather's worth talking about right now.
Yeah, well, it is causing a bit of trauma to some people, with the flooding and things. So my heart goes out to them. My thoughts are with them. But for some of us, it's the blessing we need. Anyway.
We did actually find a really cool article where there are some federal and state government support for people affected by the floods. So if you go down in the stream in Brisbane Small Business, I'm sure you're going to find that. But right now, we're not here to talk about that. We're here to talk about 6 ways that you can automate your business.
Yes, it's exciting for me. That's a very exciting topic that I geek out on, as you know, and you always have to pull me back out of the rabbit hole. So yes, I'm running a webinar on the 31st, running it during the middle of the day. And on that webinar, I'm going to be giving you a list of 6 things to automate.
So that's the 31st of March. So it's like 8 days from today. So it's middle of next week. At what time?
Midday.
Midday? Awesome.
Yeah. 45 minutes roughly. If there's more questions and things like that, we can go longer. It just depends. But if you commit to a minimum half an hour, and then there's the time for asking questions.
Absolutely. Now, automating your business, it just seems to be something that we all know would be really cool to do, but it's something that seems to always get put on that little bit too hard list. So what's the simplest thing? Where should we start with this automation?
It starts by having a conversation. And a conversation that you might have with yourself. If you're planning an event or if you're planning to do something, then there is a whole process around that from beginning to end. And it's a matter of thinking through that whole process. And it's not always easy for everyone to think through a process when they don't really know what that process is. However, I say to people, when I'm on my calls, what are you doing right now? What are you actually doing in your business? Just document that, because that becomes part of your process. Then we apply what Keep calls lifecycle marketing, which I'll touch on more in the webinar as well. And you'll hear me talk about that one all the time. But lifecycle marketing is an approach where you look at that sales customer journey experience from beginning to end, and then you're putting in automation at certain touch points in there. We can't automate everything because we need that human connection. We love working with humans, especially with all the recent stuff. However, you can make your automation personable.
Absolutely, that automation. So the human stuff, it's the stuff that we love, and sometimes we go, I've got to get on and do this. Like, hey, making 20 phone calls in a day. You go, I get to speak to 20 people, and oh my God, I've got to make 20 calls all at once. So when we're talking about automation, we're not just, yes, you're here as Keep's representative, but these aren't things you can only do on Keep. These are things that you can do with a host of other systems. Cool?
Yes, correct. There's lots of other automation platforms out there. This is just my choice and preferred platform to work with, because there is so much that can be done within the one system that it negates the need of having this one, and this one all plugged in, talking together. Because when you plug things together, that's where breaks can happen. So I don't like that stuff. I don't like having to dive deep into technical things, which a lot of business owners don't. They just want to keep a simple system that they can just keep growing their business and plugging it in. And I call Keep my marketing automation assistant. It is my personal assistant. I've put data in to get the data out that I want, to deliver a recurring, pleasurable experience for the end user. And the end user might be your staff, your team, it's client management, business administration, as well as all that marketing stuff.
Absolutely. But the key point that we're saying is they don't have to be a Keep convert to come along and get some awesome value out of this.
Correct.
Show, right?
Yes.
And that's the key point that we want to make here. Because we want everyone, whether you whatever you think about Keep doesn't matter. Lindy's going to give you fantastic knowledge about automating 6 different parts of your business. And that's the thing that we want, that everyone should get excited about. I'm going to come on because I know that there's stuff that I don't do that I should on a regular basis. And so, yes, I need to sit down and have a chat with myself about the process and what's involved. So what are those 6 things, if we can just list them off really quickly, so that people can go, hey, I'd like to find out more about that?
Okay, so the 6 things that I'll be going into more detail about and the tactics of it is customer feedback. How do you actually get customer feedback from happy customers? Or how do you deal with, unhappy customers? There's validating your target. There's simulating.
Sorry, what was the second one there? So
validate your target. We
so
know
that. What do you mean when you say validate your target?
That's just like target segmentation. So if you're a pest control and people have got ants or cockroaches, so you're validating the right message to market match. So do they want to know about cockroaches if they've got an ant problem? Well, no, you can keep sending them information about cockroaches, but it just becomes noise to them because they've got ants.
So we're just making sure that we can put our buckets of interest, I guess, would be a different way of thinking about that.
Yeah. Where do they fit in your business model? What's their client level? Like in yours, you've got different levels of your clients. So you need to speak to each of those people at the level that they're at. Then you can use it to upsell them into additional things, or, back to the pest man. If they, you've got ants, but that could lead to termites. So
cool.
It leads into other parts of business.
Yeah.
That's to simulate real email interactions. People immediately put automation as in robotic and it's empty. It doesn't have any heart behind it. I bring a lot of heart into how do you actually automate it and make it so it becomes a real sort of a message. I've even had a client reply to me once to one of my automated emails saying, was this email written just for me? I couldn't tell. So,
absolutely, I love that. So put your soul into it, like actually be you, and that's a really cool thing.
Yeah, personality. You can have fun with the automations. So obviously it depends on your business, but within reason. Even if you are in a dry dentistry business, you can still have fun. You can put little GIFs in it, video things in it. You can have fun.
I know it's one of those funny things. When we're outside our comfort zone, I know I'm really guilty of this. When I'm outside my comfort zone, I get really serious, right? And I'm not a naturally serious person, but whenever I'm not comfortable, I get really. Anyway, yeah. So number 4.
That's in my memory bank. That one. When Kevin being serious, he's out of his comfort zone. Okay, cool. Thank you. Choose your own adventure selling. This is one of my favorite things. If you remember when you were a child, we had choose your own adventure books and used to be able to get to a page and then you choose which way you go. Again, it's end user experience, being able to actually select where they need to go so that they're getting that right message to market match. Again, educating them on what they're interested in, because if you've got a hot lead who's interested in something, then don't try and push something that they're not interested. So it's a great way of having fun with selling, but making it so that they're choosing what they're actually getting information on. So,
awesome.
Yeah. Sorry, next.
Is this the 5th one?
That was the 5th one. Yeah, number 5 now. You're confusing me, Kevin. Okay, so automate testimonial collection. So even like feedback, testimonies, reviews, things like that. How do you actually automate that process? And I was on a really good week-long campaign builder workshop last week, and one of the other partners did a talk. And in that, she shared a very valid point that you, now I've gone blank, that don't wait until the end of the customer working with you to ask for that feedback or testimony, because you can be delivering and they're happy and they're really cruising along, and then something can go wrong. And then suddenly they're not happy, and then you've lost your chance of getting a testimonial, even though you've delivered and all that sort of stuff. So anyway, you can automate getting feedback too, just working with your customers ongoing, getting it consistent feedback. And you'll notice the big players do that. Whenever you buy anything online, you'll always get some sort of customer survey feedback. Were you happy? Were you happy with this? Even with chats, were you happy with our chat support? They're constantly asking for that feedback, because by getting that feedback, you can adjust and tweak what you're actually doing. as well. So, yeah.
Absolutely. So constantly getting feedback and automating that process of getting the feedback so that you've got that recorded as well. So awesome.
Yeah, and number 6, automatically sending cool things. Now, in the BSB community, we've got a few people who send out gifts. They have gift packs, and you can actually automate that. So when you get a new customer that comes on board, it can trigger some automation, which sends a notification off to them to say, hey, can you please send Vindy at this address this really cool thing? Something that you've had a conversation and arranged, but then you've put it into the system and then you set and forget.
Absolutely. And that doesn't have to be somebody who's associated with your system, because you could just automate, send an email to your standard person with a gift of your standard person. Because I know that there's a couple of different gift people within our community. Okay, so there's Lux Corporate Gifts, there's Handmade Gifts by Jane, there's a few others. They're two that come to mind. Now, you could send an email to either one of those automatically from your system to do that order with your client details in it and whatever gift that you've all pre-organised with them to do.
Exactly. Yep, that's right. So they're the 6 main points. So I'll dive deeper into each of those, and that's the what. I can go into the how and give you more of the strategy around behind it, so you can start thinking how that might be able to be applied into your business. But also, I'll be giving you a booklet which has 25 other ways. And I could rattle.
So we're actually going to get 31 different ways we could automate ours.
Yes, but I'm going to specifically dive deeper into 6, but then they'll be getting a whole lot more.
And the thing that I really love, and the thing that I really love that we've talked about, this isn't just, hey, we're going to give you these 6 things or the 31 things. We're going to focus on the 6 so that we can take the time to let you know how you could automate it and give you the tactical how. So at the end of this hour, you actually will have all the knowledge to actually go and do it.
Yes, that's the idea. Is I don't want to just sit here and talk at you. I work best with interaction and engagement and questions and making it specific to your business and your needs. So if you're on the webinar, type the question, because it's in a Zoom meeting, so you can have the chat there. So, chat in and say, here's my business and here's, what can I actually do here? Or at the end, you'll be able to come off mic and talk as well. So that's the whole point of this, is being able to deliver you a tangible something that you can take that is a concept at the moment that you might not even be thinking of. I bring it up on your radar and I say, this is how you can actually apply it. And if you don't have a system, well, yeah, talk to me, but you might already have a system you're using that you can do it in, because you don't have to use Keep. Of course, I'll talk about Keep till the cows come home because it's just such a blissful program for me. However, you can do some of these things with a lot of other tools that are out there as well.
Absolutely. So that's fantastic. So we're going to put a link when we get off here. We're going to put a link both here in the group, but also don't forget to put it in the page as well, the Brisbane Small Business page. This video is separately on the 2 of those things. They're not linked. There are tactical reasons why we don't. We actually get a greater audience when we actually separate them rather than putting them together. That's why we do it the way that we do. So thanks very much for coming along today, Lindy. I really appreciate it. I want to find out more about how to do these things, so I'll be there for the webinar next Thursday at 12 o'clock.
Next Wednesday.
Thank you for correcting me. Next Wednesday, the 31st at 12 o'clock. I'll see you then.
See you then.